Hi, I'm Graham Schaffer, and I want to talk this afternoon on the financial context in the consultation paper on the Pandemic Reset Program at our University of Melbourne. I'm doing this because I'm concerned that the numbers that are contained in that consultation paper are somewhat misleading and need to be interrogated. Let me share my slides with you. By way of introduction, I'm a professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering. Previously, I was Executive Dean, Faculty of Engineering, Architecture and Information Technology at the University of Queensland, and Provost Chancellor for the College of Science, Health and Engineering at La Trobe University. I was also Dean of Engineering at this university. So the bottom line is that the operating budget shortfall in 2020 is not 269 million as shown in the consultation paper. I believe it's just 37 million. To put that in context, it's approximately 1% of the university's budget. In contrast, the redundancies are 10% of our ongoing workforce. So in essence, the university is responding to a 1% cut in funding with a continuing ongoing cut in 10% of our workforce. So what I'm talking about are the figures that are contained in section 3, the financial context, in that consultation paper. And I'm referring here to 2020 because those are the only year for which we have full figures. The only numbers we have for subsequent years are estimates of a revenue decrease. But we know from our earlier experience that such estimates are likely to be overinflated. So the revised revenue losses are this year are 177 million. The document also talks about operating savings that have been actioned through a range of measures. It lists salary savings as some of these. It also talks about capital expenditure that has been deferred for 2020, the order of 330 million, and says that the estimated budget shortfall is therefore 269 million. But what I don't understand is how, if the revenue loss is 177 million, and we've taken a number of actions to mitigate that loss, including deferring capital expenditure, how the shortfall can be 269 million. How can the shortfall be greater than the revenue loss when we've taken action to mitigate that loss? So to better understand these figures, I've dug into 3 documents. The first is the waterfall chart that's posted on the university's website, the Staff Hub. The second is the 2019 annual report, which is the most recent report that we have. And the third document is the 2020 budget book. And when I've done that, I can construct numbers for 2020 that look like this. Now, I should emphasize these aren't my numbers. These are numbers that have come from the university's own website and documentation. So the revenue decrease we're facing is 177 million. And there have also been increases in costs due to running the virtual campus and for support for our students, particularly our international students. They're 99 million. And the university is using the sum of these two numbers as it appears to be using the sum of these two numbers as the shortfall. But against those numbers, there have been savings of the order of 194 million. Now, they come about through some salary reductions in salaries, through the reduction in the use of consultants, and through the reduction in the cost of running the campus with nobody on it. I know, for instance, that my utility bills are 30 to 50% up this year, and that represents a direct saving to the university. And to that, we also need to add 2 further numbers. The first is the budget surplus, which this year is predicted to be 17 million. Now, clearly, we don't need to book a surplus in 2020. The second number is the contingency reserve, which is of the order of 1% of the overall budget. Now, that's an item in the budget that's there to mitigate unforeseen consequences and unforeseen events, such as the pandemic. When you add those up, the net operating impact is 37 million. It's not 269 million, it's 37 million. And then we need to add to that the deferral of capital expenditure. That's another 330 million. So the net budget impact is 293 million in the black. That's not a deficit. That's we're 293 million with including the capital expenditure. We're 293 million ahead of where we were predicting in the budget. To put that in context, the total university budgets of the order of 2.8 billion. The operating impact of 37 million is then just a little over 1% of the university's budget. It's not a big number. In contrast, the ongoing staff are 4,700 FTE. The proposed redundancies are therefore a little under 10% of our total ongoing staff cohort. So the university is proposing that we respond to a 1% impact on the budget with a 10% cut on our staff. So in summary, the budget shortfall is a relatively small number and has already been managed. That shouldn't surprise us. Ian Marshman and Frank Larkins told us months ago that this was manageable at the University of Melbourne. Importantly, the budget impact is temporary, whereas the redundancies are permanent. And my question then is, why respond to a one-off drop of 1% with an enduring cut of 10%? It appears, therefore, that the pandemic reset is a choice that management is making. There's no necessity to make these changes. There's certainly no necessity to make them now. It further appears that the workforce change is being done under the cover of COVID, not because of COVID. So what can we do? The first is require management to open the books, demand verified information about the university's finances, and talk to your family and friends. We are the University of Melbourne, and people are interested and concerned to know what is going on here. And finally, join the union. We are stronger together. Thank you.